Happy Sunday and welcome to our fifth and final workshop. I'm so glad you're here, and I think we should open in a word of prayer. Bow your heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, here we are again. God, just listening to your call to come and fellowship and learn something new and be with our church people and love on each other and laugh with each other. God, we just give you this time. We give you our time and our talents and, honestly, God, our lack thereof. But we ask that you bless this time and help us forge relationships and stronger bonds with each other to build up our church and our church family. Thank you so much for each and every person in this room. In your name we pray, amen. Amen. Okay, so here we go. Session 5. In review. So this was from last Wednesday, if you were not here. So on Wednesday, there was a pretty significant hymn packet handed out for I call it a binder. There are plenty of extra copies on this table. And then also, I'll remind you that I put some felt picks. I use a pick the traditional way. It's probably not with a pick, but if it helps, there are felt picks, and there are many colors. It doesn't matter what color, but you're more than welcome to grab one of those as well. And you can keep it. So the binder and the pick are yours. You do not have to turn those in. You can take them with you. Okay, so again, we were reading from a chord chart. These are all the chords. I had to go back and just make sure. We've got C, you feel good about singing? Oh, yeah. A minor, F, G7, C7, D, G, B flat, which is not our favorite. Then we threw in a D minor and then a D7 at the end pretty quickly. But that's okay. We're going to review all those and add 2 more. We're just going to add 2 more, that's it. Our 4-3-2-1 drill that I really believe in, and then we talked about strumming, of course. I've tried to send all of that to you each week in an email following, and then I will also this week as well too. So I put these just as a review. We're going to review the C major is just, and we're going to review all of these chords and just oh, we didn't check our tuning. I'm so sorry. All right, find your G string. I can see that. I can see that in the worship service. Yeah. on the count of 3. Yeah. I'm really 12. No, I'm kidding. On the count of 3, just the G string. 1, 2, 3. I wish. Had I to do it over again, I should have recorded the first night. Yeah. Let's go down 1. The C string. 1, 2, 3. It's really nice, really nice. E string, 1 more down, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, close. And then the A string, 1, 2, 3. And then just open string. Nice, okay? C, you'll remember, is finger 3, fret 3, string 1. Let's strum that 4 times. Here we go, 1, 2, here we go, 4. 1, 2. Awesome. Do you remember what we learned next? Close. A minor, because it's a 1-finger chord. So A minor, finger 2, fret 2, string 4, but remember string 4 is the closest to your chin. Yep, that's it. 4 strums. 1, 2, here we go, 4. 1, 2. Back to C, ready, go. Back to A minor. Back to C. Back to A minor. Cool. Now I'm going to say switch. When I say switch, you got to switch. Okay, here we go. Starting at C. 1, 2, here we go, C. Switch. 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 You try to say switch 3 times fast. Okay. This time you can't look at your hands. Find the C. Here we go. I might need to. I'm the switcher. Here we go. C first. 1, 2. Here we go. C. Switch. 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 So this was our first, but the easiest way, y'all, is go to A minor, and then what we're going to do is leave our second finger there for the A minor, and we're going to drop our first finger in the first fret, string 2. Thank you. I always have to think about 2 and 3. So now we're at F major. Sounds good, sounds good. So now we're going to do 4 F major, then we're going to go back to A minor. So really it's just your index finger that's doing the work. Most of you are working out that second finger while you're driving, but right now it's going to be the first finger. Okay, starting with F. 1, 2, here you can look too. And we go 1, 2, 4 strums F. 1, 2, switch, back to F, switch, switch, switch. I forgot to say switch. Thank you. All right, so we have F, and now we have G7. G7 was our first 3-finger chord. So from the F, leave your index finger there, and then we're going to put finger 2 in fret 2 on string 3, and then finger 3 in fret 2, so same fret, on string 1. Yeah, nice. All right, 4 strums, G7, 1, 2, here we go, 4. I think we should go to C. So now we're going to go to C. Okay, so we're going to go back to the G7, and we're going to do 4 strums of G7, 4 strums of C, but then we're going to go back to the G7. You're going to go to C easily, but then when we go back to the G7, that's when your brain is going to, bail on you. That's why we don't want to go fast. Look at your neighbor right now and say, I promise not to go fast. Okay, here we go. G7. G7, you can look. 1, 2, this slow, go, and strum, and strum, and strum, and switch. C, C. We're going back. Yes. Now we go C. Back to G7. Yeah, to the C. Now we're going to go a little faster. Back to G7. 1 and 2, and here we go. C, 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 C. Switch. G7, 7, and C, and a little faster, and G7, and C, G7, C, G7, C. Yeah, that's great. Until we get to G, then you're going to want to cuss me out. Okay. All right, so now we have C7, also a 1-finger chord, finger 1, fret 1, string 1. This sounds so Hawaiian to me. Okay, simple. D major, remember all 3 fingers together in fret 2 on strings 4, 3, 2. This, remember this, so they all go in fret 2. Claw it over, claw it over. All right, we're going to go D major for 4, C for 4. D major for 4, C for 4. Okay, are you ready? 1, D major first. 1, 2, here we go, D. 1, 2. Switch to C. Back to D. Back to C. Back to D. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Awesome. Now we have G. Okay, so G, here's why you don't like G, because you learned G7 first. That's the only reason. If I'd have taught G first, you wouldn't like G7. So, G, anybody have any tricks that's helped them? You just practice, Maybe, just think about your ring finger, your 3rd finger being the one that has to reach. It's the one that has to reach. So here's what G sounds like. Okay, so we're going to practice G for 4, then to C. But look how close you are to C already.
Oh yeah, just move it down.
You lift the finger 1 and 2 up, and then you move 3rd finger down 1 string. Okay, so let's go G to C. G first. 1, 2, here we go, G. G, 2, 3, C. We're going back. G, yeah. Back to C. Very good. Back to G. Yes, back to C. Back but rarely are you ever going to be asked to play like G7 and then a G. Like, it's just kind of rare, you know, so I don't want you to worry about having to do, although it's not a bad switching exercise to do G to G7, but in the music, it's either or, most of the time, So we have G, all right, B flat major. I love you, oh my God, but you're still here. Okay, so remember your first finger is flat and it has to cover strings 3, 2, and 1, okay? So in the fret 1, then your second finger goes to fret 2, string 3, and then your third finger has to reach all the way up there, fret 3, string 4. Okay, now, if you have dead strings, welcome to the club, because so do I, all right? If we're somewhere in the ballpark, we will consider that a huge win today, all right? The other good news about B flat is most of the time, we're really going to be going and coming from F is going to be kind of a pretty, they're like pairs. It's another story why. So I'd like to practice going from B flat to F. Yeah, that too. You're a star student, Club. You have a good memory. So it's going to be hard even for me, so I'm going to stare at it. So we do 4 slow B flat, then 4 slow F. Here we go. B flat, so slow. 1, 2, very slow B flat. 1, 2, 3, F. B flat, F. Back to B flat. Back to F. B flat. Now F. Yeah, great. That's really good. I know what some of you are doing. What my students do, they just air strum when they get to the B flat, and that's totally fine. You notice how it's like F is like, and then we get to the B flat, it's like, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Okay, we added this last week. You probably don't remember, and it's A-okay, but it's very simple. So D minor is going to be finger 1, fret 1, string 2, finger 2, fret 2, string 4, and finger 3, fret 2, so they're neighbors, string 3. Okay? If you lift up your third finger, you're at F. Just for those that need some reference. So we're going to play 4 strums of D minor, then we're going to play 4 strums of F. Okay, so let's start with D minor. Check your neighbor's fingerings and just see if they check your neighbor. Yeah. Oh, we got to get your third finger down for D minor. Okay, ready? D minor for 4, F for 4. D minor. 1, 2, very slow D minor. 1, 2, 3, switch to F. Back to D minor. Back to F. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but only one finger is moving, right?
Right.
Okay, just make sure. If you have 2 fingers moving, something's not right. It's only this one finger that really feels like it has no muscles in it at all. Okay, so let's do that again, just to get some muscle memory there. Let's start with D minor. D minor. 1, 2, here we go, D minor. 1, 2, switch to F. Back to D minor. Back to F. Yeah, back to D minor. Back to F. Now we're going to C. Ready? C. G7. D. Just kidding. Okay, so we didn't study this one by itself, but it was in one of the hymns that we played last week. D7, equally as easy. It's just a 2-finger chord. This is in fret 2 though. In fret 2, finger 1, fret 2, string 4.
Finger 1.
You mean finger 2?
Finger 1. Yeah, okay, yes.
It's 2 and 3.
It does say 2, 3. You can do, yep.
2 and 3 is good.
2 and 3's hard.
It depends on where you're going. But you know what? If you're on the right fret and the right string, you go for it, whatever. 2, 3, 2, 3. You're just like my students. The moment I say something wrong,
Well,
that's right. Okay. String 4, string 2, in fret 2. String 4, string 2, in fret 2. You can use 1 and 3 or 2 and 4. Okay, ready? 4 of these. 1, 2, here we go, D7. 1. Okay. There's D7. It's not there. All right. Totally new. Never looked at this one. This is one of the two. One of the two, okay? Stick with me. Okay. Hold your fingers up like this. What number is this?
3.
You're going to turn it around. You're going to spread them out like a W. And that's pretty much what we got going on here, okay? You ready? Finger 1, fret 2, string 1.
Okay.
So remember, string 1 is farthest from your chin. Finger 2, fret 3, string 2. Okay? Then finger 3, fret 4, string 3. Okay. Now for me, I don't know if this is good or bad, but I have to put pressure on the back with my thumb to make sure the strings are really down. Okay? Okay? Yeah. All right. If you're struggling with that, you can pick up the neck or you can bring your wrist underneath. This E minor is hard, but once you get it, you got it. Like once you get it, you got it. So this is E minor. So we're gonna go. I asked my students this: what should we practice going to and from? From E minor, G. We could do that. Maybe a C.
Yeah, I like C.
Maybe C. We're going to go, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 4 strums of E minor. 4 rests. Then C. Then 4 rests. And then E minor. Okay, you ready? E minor for 4, then rest for 4. 1, 2, here we go, E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, here we go, C. 1, 2, 3, rest, 2, back to E minor, back to the C, back to E minor. Yeah, check your fingers on that one. It's 3 fingers. Hey, but that was actually quite good. So we're going to go E minor, C with no rest, but we're just going to keep it slow. Okay, so we're going to start at the E minor. Just remember the E minor. What's hard about E minor, what we haven't had yet, is each finger's in a different fret. So
And they're lower.
yeah, right. And they're a little, yeah, you're right. So we'll go E minor so slow, and we're going to switch to C, which is not going to be the issue. The problem, right, is going from C to E minor. So here we go. 1, 2, so slow, go. E1 and 2 and 3 and C1 and wouldn't go that fast. E minor, pretty good. Back to C, to the E minor, C, E minor. Now I know what some of you are doing. Now you're cheating the C, and you're playing it with your second.
Yes.
I'm not
easier.
looking. Okay,
You
so
wanted me to do it, so
just
I did.
one more, just one more. Oh no, that was it. Is that it?
Yeah, we did.
You're like, yes, we're done.
Yeah.
I feel like that was, maybe that's it. Maybe that was it. Okay, here we go. Our favorite 4, 3, 2, 1 drill. So we're going to go C, A minor, F, G7. Okay, C, A minor, F, G7. But we do 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, 1 time. All you ready? Here we go. No looking. Unless you were on vacation last week, you can look. Here we go. C. 1, 2. Here we go. C. 1, 2. Now wait a second. If we start that speed, You have to ask yourself, can I play at that tempo, speed, the ones? No, then we probably should not go. Yeah, let's go a little slow. 1 and 2, and here we go. C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and now we go 3. C, 2, switch. A, 2. Don't get faster. F, 2, switch. G7, 2. Now we go twice. C. Now we go 1. Here we go. You did awesome, but you know what we have to do, right? She said,
Yeah.
Metronome. Charlie, do you want to pick one? Do you want to pick a number? Pick a number 1. No, not 1. Pick a number 90 through 200.
Which Charlie?
Isn't this Charlie?
There's 3 of them.
There's 3 Charlies.
There you go.
Yeah.
Charlie, 1, 2, 3.
Between 90 and what?
Between 90 and 200. 130. Okay, awesome.
You said 103.
Did you? 130? No, he said 130.
Okay. All right, Charlie, I can do it.
Okay, here we go.
Are those 8 notes?
It just died.
Those are not 8 notes. Well, practice while I get it working. On you. You didn't pick 200. C, A, F, G7. 4, 3, 2, 1. You can look. 4 to start. 1, 2, here we go, 4. F, G7. Now we go 3. C, A, F, G7. Now we go 2. 1. You did that quite well. Quite well.
No, I don't think I did it.
If we don't have at least half the people give up, that means we have to go faster. So we're gonna go 1, 7.
Oh, wow.
Just for fun. 8 to start. 8 to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 2, 1. You're better than you think. I love doing that in high school because you know who never gives up is the boys. They're like, I will get it. All right, 190. Here we go. All right. Okay, 8 to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 2, 1. That sounds pretty sacred to me, so we could maybe play that in the worship service.
Which years?
Getting here. Okay. Now, here's why you're getting better at it, because that's the main one we've been doing. If we practiced a different chord progression, F, C7, B flat, then we can't do that yet, probably, not even at 190, but all it takes is practice. You don't remember the first day where you tried to do the 4-3-2-1 drill and you were just like, never, I will never get it. So let's try this one at my tempo, F, C7, B flat, and the 4-3-2-1, but there's only 3 chords, so just be ready for that B flat. Woo, here we go, F. Come on your way, and we go 1, 2, here we go, F. 1, 2, 3, 4, C7, 2, 3, 4, B flat, 2, 3. Now we go 3. F, 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 C7, 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 B flat, B flat, B flat. F, F, C, C, B flat, B flat, F, C, B flat.
You did a good job.
Here's what's funny. My B flats.
I think I'll just put you on the B flat just for.
I'll be ready for the B
I'll be
flat.
ready for the B flat.
Yeah.
But all that to say, it's just practice. Had we done this one since the beginning, we'd be just as good now as we are with the O, right?
No, it has to be flat.
But again, the reason why we do this is just for something for you to practice at home. This is a way for you to practice. Pick the 4 chords, and maybe you like Just As I Am, and you pick the chords C, G, C7, and F. Practice the 4-3-2-1 in the order that you see these in the song before you play the song. And I'm telling you, it's just muscle memory. That's all it is, muscle memory. All right, here we go. So, if you weren't here Wednesday, we learned Happy Birthday. And Happy Birthday is going to be from memory. And I am going to replay the tutorial video for anybody that wasn't here. But also, if you were here, we need to practice B flat. So this will be a good practice. But this is just F, then C7, and then B flat. So while I bring up the video, practice moving from F to C7, B flat, and then back.
Hello, welcome. In this video, we will learn how to play Happy Birthday. This is one of those songs that you should memorize. Like, work really hard 2-3 days so that you have it in the back of your mind always. And then when it's someone's birthday, you can be all romantic or suave or cool and play it for them. Okay, so we're starting on F and then switching to C7. You can watch me do it first, or you can play along. 1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Try that with me now. We're gonna say happy, and then on birthday, or on birth, you come in with the F. 1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. On the next part, watch me do it first, and then we will do it together. Happy birthday to you. So that whole phrase, happy birthday dear, is on F, and then you switch to B flat for the name of the person. So try it there, starting on F. Happy birthday dear Dad. Again, ready, go. Happy birthday dear Dad. And then the end of it is really easy because it's just birthday to you. So F, F, C7, F. Try that part. Ready, go. Birthday to you. Again, ready, go. Birthday to you. Okay, so now I think you can play through the whole song. Let's do it slowly so that that half bar chord isn't too crazy for us. Okay, let's try it. 1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dada. Happy birthday to you. If you are here, you're ready to play through the whole song. That was fast, right?
We're gonna sing.
So we are on F. And then we will switch to C7. So remember to always think about the next chord. 1, 2. Happy birthday
fine. But so just remember that the B flat only occurs twice on the name. And so I think I told you last week, I made my students say happy birthday, dear B flat. Just remember, those are the only times that we go, happy birthday to you. Mary, do you want to share what you did this week?
I sang happy birthday to Will Shiflett on his 20th birthday with the ukulele. Not well. He thinks I'm crazy anyway, so it was
So it's perfect.
So I shared last Wednesday that this is something that you just record a little video and send it to somebody. It's really the thought that counts. I'm sure you were. That's good. I'm sure it sounded good. But the starting pitch for your voice is the C string. So if you're not quite sure where your voice, happy, that's where you're gonna start. So happy is a cappella. So happy birthday. So sing with me. You ready? Happy birthday. Yeah. You have to sing happy too. You're like, birthday. We want it to be happy. Okay, here we go. Ready, and happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear me glad. You only have to do it twice. Happy birthday to you. Good, we're going to practice it faster because you don't want it to be a dirge. Okay? So we're going to go. Happy birthday. You ready? Okay, and we go 1, 2, and happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear me glad. Then you can take a break. Happy birthday to you. That's it. That's it. Take this to the office and invite some people to church. All right. So that was happy birthday. Let me make sure. Okay. So whoa. Let's talk just for a second about so ukulele ensembles. They do exist. They're like handbell ensembles or choir ensembles or bands. So I pulled a couple I wanted you to know of. So this is up in Canada, I believe. I won't play the whole thing, it's very long, but you'll notice, however, that these ukuleles are different sizes. So just like in a choir, you would have soprano, alto, tenor, bass. Well, ukuleles, the soprano, concert, tenors, and then baritones. But often, it's not in this one. Well, actually, there's a stand-up bass in the back just for a little bit more depth and low sound, but I just thought I'd play just a little bit for you, if it will play. Just a little bit, because I want you to see the next one as well. Now, this is not, I know what you're thinking, this is a high school. It's not. This is a community group. There's adults. They're all volunteers. It's not auditioned. They do this for fun. It's their
They're awesome.
Don't laugh at this.
Oh, no.
Here we go. Let's see. I took total advantage of your time the other night, so I want to be a good steward. But so I looked up ukulele in North Carolina. I know there are ukulele ensembles in North Carolina, but truthfully, they're hard to find. Not hard to find, but because they're like social communities, they're not as organized enough to get a website going, if that makes sense. But I did find the Triad Ukulele, and I want to send this to you. I'm sending this to you because this is over in Greensboro, but they meet in person every other Tuesday, and they get together and just jam. So if you are retired or you want to just go jam with some people, here you go, in Greensboro. So right here, they have a songbook, and you can print the songbook, and that's what they choose, that's what they play. So it's not like you show up, what are we going to do? You can print the songbook, and you practice, and when you feel ready, you can just go hang out. Okay, so if you do that, let me know. We'll be curious. Now, I have to show you this one too. Now, this is Fayetteville, it's too far away. However, every Monday, they have a virtual option. So you can participate on, I wonder if it's Facebook Live or just, I don't know if it's Facebook Live or if it's on, oh, it's on Zoom. So you can meet in person on Thursdays, or every Monday night, you can meet with them and look, their new songs are Under the Boardwalk. Okay. So I'll send that to you as well. And then this is just, this is one out of Great Britain. Now this is professional. This is a professional ukulele ensemble. Who knew? They say they're an orchestra.
1, 2, 3, 4. Darling, you've got to let me know. Or should we stay or should we go? 'Cause if we say that you were fine, we'd love you till the end of time. So come on, let me know. Or should I stay or should I go? It's always tease, tease, tease. Darling, you've got me on my knees. One day it's fine and then it's not. So if you want us off the block, so come on, let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Well, should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? Well, if I stay there will be trouble. Wow, 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 wow. If I go there will be trouble. So come on, let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
So I'm assuming you hear this guy's solo. That's finger picking. So one pitch at a time. We are not doing that. But it is really cool to listen to, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't know that sounds of indigestion could be musical.
Yeah.
This indecision's bugging me. This indecision made me less exactly who I'm supposed to be. Here's John and she's sister. I don't know what you had for tea. You never travel far. I don't know which clothes even fit me. They don't even have a car. So come on, let me know. Well, should I stay or should I go? Well, should I stay or should I go? I got heels for my supper. Should I stay or should I go now? I got heels for my supper. And if I stay there will be trouble. If I go it will be trouble. I got heels for my supper. So come on, let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
One fancy ukulele.
Yeah, that was. That looked like a great.
So I'll send that to you. Just you know, food for thought. And so tonight, as you came in, you should have that piece of paper that says some resources and recommendations. And I just wanted to walk through a couple of these. And I know that Pastor Dan and Rachel may have some other suggestions, but if you'd like to get your own, I suggested a concert or a tenor, but sopranos are just fine too. The only thing I would caution you about is going to like a retail store, and you can get what looks like an instrument or a ukulele at Walmart, but those are toys. So, but I would not get a baritone. You can get a baritone, but everything we've done in the last 5 sessions is all different because the fingerings are different.
I did find that on the Target website, you can get that package for $79, what we have now.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, okay.
And it's Cordova.
Okay. You might get a little cheaper through Music and Arts. But you can, they probably won't ship it to you, so. And then the brands that I had learned about were Cordova, which is what these are, Kala, but then Pastor Dan, he's here now, Flight and Ohana, and then actually he sent me 10,000 more.
You read my email.
I did. And I thought there is no space for here, but I think the price points are, whoo, mercy, they're very varied. But I think that if you're going to purchase one and you want to purchase a good one and you haven't done it yet, Pastor Dan and Rachel are probably the best to ask for sure. Or maybe you pick one out and then advise. But I think that I thought mine was really cool until I thought it was fine, fine, until I played his last week for 15 seconds and I am holding a literal piece of trash. Just in 15 seconds. It was pretty incredible. So, and then of course I put color in there, but more for my students. They'll look it up and see a blue one or something. Oh, we must get this. But the color is not as important as the brand and the quality. I would really highly recommend buying or purchasing a travel or a carry bag with your ukulele, and then obviously a tuner. You can download free tuner apps on your phone, so you don't have to buy a tuner. But if you like, just having, they're not very expensive. Extra strings are good if you, it happens, you pop a string and, but I cannot help you. I don't know how to, I bought the tool that you do it with, but I don't know how to use it. But I'm sure, you know how to change them? Pastor Dan, that's why he is in charge around here. But anyways, then a felt pick. If you want to. So these are just things. The other thing you might want to consider, I know some of you have asked about the strap. You've got to make sure the ukulele has a place to affix the strap. So that might be something to think about if you want to play standing up, or, it's not, I was just up with my students and I thought this would probably be the best idea. So, but it's not required at all. The other considerations I wrote, a strap of course, but that capo. So remember last week I talked to you about how sometimes we'll be, singing or playing a piece and it's just a little too low in your voice. And this is a capo, and what it does, if you put it on the first fret, it'll raise that song a half step. Happy birthday to you. So, or if we move it up a fret, that's another half step. Happy birthday to you. Or we could go, if we go up 2, that's going to be fun. We're not going to do that. So anyway, so a capo, again, not expensive, just something to consider. And then some recommendations, and I'll send this to you in digital so you can just click on these, but these are some of these are Kalas, I think, one's a Cordova, but then the Pastor Dan had sent these sites. What you think these are better because the action, they're better. I know they're better. I just don't know why.
So for anyone here who plays guitar or any wooded instrument knows that how high the strings are can make the difference between it being a very pleasant playing experience and not. And so if you buy straight from a factory, it might be okay, but it might not. The strings might be a 1/4 inch high. You've got to press really hard to keep the strings down. So some of these places will actually not only give you a great ukulele, but they'll set it up as well. And you can get a great ukulele for under $100, and then it goes up from there, just depending on what you want. But even if you get one for under $100 and you get it, they call it set up, which is they just make sure that the strings are all level and nice and low to the fretboard. It makes it a lot easier to play.
Okay. So I'll be buying a new ukulele, but. And then at the bottom, I just wanted to include some of the books and materials that I went through in my learning. So the first 4, I own these books, and this is what I taught myself with over Christmas break. I included the next 3 because those are the books that I use that are in your binder, that I've pulled from. Those are the hymn books that I pulled from. I want to make sure, if you like, those are the easiest. I looked at several, but I just felt like these were the best ones for our purposes. So again, I'll send this in digital form so you can just click on these links and they just go to Amazon and you can put them in your cart or purchase them somewhere else. And then on the back, what I have is some, most of this, 1 through 4, these are going to be people on YouTube that have quality tutorials on, and it just depends on various things. So Rachel and Pastor Dan recommended Cynthia Lynn. That's who I looked her up, but that's who I'm going to look at next, some of her tutorial videos.
We have lots of very, very beginner, from just learning chords to changing between chords to strumming to simple songs with 2 chords. She's really good. She has a whole big YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook.
And a website.
Yes.
Yeah, Ukulele 101. So that's what I sent you. And then this guy has a 10-day beginner course. It's free. You could just watch it. I mean, you don't sit there for 10 days, but it's just like 10 lessons. Dylan Lane, I ran across this girl looking for, it was a little harder to find sacred ukulele stuff, but this girl has done a lot by way of contemporary Christian songs and writing the tab for that. She also has tutorial videos. Her strumming one today was, not today, she has one that's on strumming, what do I strum? And it was a really solid, like after I watched it, I thought, okay, I learned something there. So I included her, and then Bernadette, it actually teaches music, but that's the girl who did the happy birthday.
Oh, okay.
And then number 5, the ukuleleans, that's a channel for the play-alongs. That's where I've got all the play-alongs. So I don't think there are any tutorials, but if you just want to play along, which is great for practicing, particularly strumming, and singing at the same time, that I included that as well. There's thousands of resources out there, thousands and thousands. But I find I get bogged down in if you give me a page of 20, I feel like I have to go look at every single one. So I just kept it short and simple. And again, this is just something you can do at home. So I wanted to provide this for you. And again, I will send this in digital form as well. Let's review our E minor chord, because we're going to do a play along, but it has E minor in it. So E minor, remember, think about your 3 fingers being in 3 different frets. Finger 1, fret 2, string 1. Finger 2, fret 3, string 2. And then finger 3, fret 4, string 3. Thank you. And so this is E minor. And everything else you know really well. And here's what's so great about this song. It's very slow. Please tell me you know this song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Very slow and...
It's time to help people customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
During menopause, estrogen drops and cortisol rises, causing unwanted tummy fat. And running an hour a day or cutting...
It does.
I'm so sorry. You never know what you're going to get. These ads, like, we made it all the way to the 5th workshop.
What they said was true.
Okay, so remember, we know A minor, we know C, we just learned E minor, but then we know F and we know G. So take a look, and what I want you to do is strum through these and practice going back and forth. What gives you trouble? I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Go ahead and practice just strumming through some of these. opportunity to practice changing chords with easy strumming. What you don't want to do is practice new chords and new strumming at the same time. It's just too much. So we go slower, we pull the tempo down, and then we find a chord, we mix in one chord that we're not as familiar with, and we keep it slow and easy, and that's why I picked it. So, now I want to jump off a bridge, but I'm kidding. Okay, so here we go. So we have to review D minor in order to do our next one. And D minor is going to be finger 1, fret 1, string 3. I mean 2. And then finger 2, fret 2, string 4, and finger 3, fret 2 as well, string 3. Yes. You do? Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. So D minor, you got your D minor. That's the only one that is not as familiar in this next play along. So D minor, now find F, and then go back to D minor, and then back to F, back to D minor. Okay, I think we're ready. You might know this song too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now before I play it, whoa, look how many chords, but don't be intimidated. Do we know A minor?
Yes.
C?
Yes.
D minor?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yeah.
E minor?
Yeah.
Also ish? And then F,
Yeah.
G, and G7. But remember, if you accidentally play G when it says G7, you're good. You're okay. That's okay. All right? So suggested strum patterns are down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, or I'm going to add down, 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 all right? Which will probably be me too. I practice all of these just down first. I practice all of them down with the chords, make sure I've got the chords, and then I go back and practice the strum patterns. So, here we go. You can sing, I don't know what this ad is going to be, y'all, but...
Ask your doctor if Imbruvica is right for you.
Okay, here we go. G7, find it, find it. Okay, wait, I forgot. Oh, don't play. Okay, I totally forgot. This is going to scare you off the intro. If you want to wait and play after the intro is over, it gets much easier after the intro. But this is advanced.
Oh,
this
okay.
intro is advanced. It goes by pretty quick. So don't be discouraged if we get here. We're going to C, and then it gets easier. Okay, so sorry, I should have said that at the beginning.
That part to demonstrate.
All right, here we go.
I heard you say it quietly in your
What is it? They're going to play it.
I'm just ready for singing.
Where it began, I can't begin to know, but then I know it's growing strong. Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, the times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe that never would. Oh, no, no. Sweet Caroline, the times never seem so good. Sweet Caroline, I believe they never come. Sweet Caroline, the times never seem so good.
Okay, now, we can't end like that. So I want to roll it back though to the one, here, is that it? Did I get it? Did I hit it? Surely not. No, it had an E minor in it.
Yeah, I had a few, I mean, it went fast.
Yeah.
I went from C to C.
It's the moment where we all went silent. We thought you had it, and then we're like, oh no, one strum. So I just want you to practice on your own. So going from C, F, G, F, E minor, D minor, but I think it started the one strum at the F. Let me go back. Oh no, it started here.
Yeah.
So 1, 1, 1, 1, C.
C, yeah. And I took from C.
On your own for 60 seconds. Yeah, 30 minutes, 30 hours. Now I will tell you like I tell my students, you better be loud in here. You better be loud. That's just you know, or you could get with your neighbor, and your neighbor played this one. You play this one. Your neighbor played this one, and then you play this one, and then yeah. Or we could just air strum right here. Yeah. All right.
Somebody playing that.
Let's do it again, but this time, feel free to sing. You know you're saying it in your head anyway. Bum, bum, bum. So good, so good.
I think for that I need 3 neighbors.
All right, let's play that one again. Last time. Remember, you can skip the intro if you need to.
Where it began, I can't begin to know, but then I know it's growing strong. Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I hurt, burden runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you? Touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe it never would. Oh, no, no. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. Sweet Caroline, I believe they never could. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good.
All right, good job. Turn to your neighbor, tell them good job as well. So, my favorite is, I know you didn't want to say good job because you don't feel like it's a good job, but we have to look at those words in context, right? It's an excellent job from where we started. Is it a good job?
Yeah.
Compared to
That we
who
did
or
it.
what,
Yeah.
right?
That we did
So,
it.
have we made some joyful noises?
Yeah, I have.
That's all we're asked. That is all we're asked. So, I don't want to put you two on the spot at all, but I'm happy to. I mean, any closing, or I don't want you to have to do anything you don't want to do, but I'm giving you the floor for about 5 minutes.
Oh, I didn't even come prepared though.
He's already standing up.
First, let's give a hand to Bethany.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not done. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
He's got his own roadie.
Can we give Bethany another hand? And she has done a really good job. And there's the only thing I want to talk to you guys. Well, I want to show you like what some of the different options are if you really get into it, like I have. But I just want to tell you right now. I hope that y'all see how far you've come along since the first time you've come. Remember how hard it was to just tune the strings, and here we are playing Neil Diamond. You know, don't tell the presbytery that we did that here. It'll be okay. I just want to tell you, and what you've seen is in the first time you were here, there were things that you were like, there's no way I'll ever be able to know how to do that, and here you're doing it. And if you want a quick snapshot, if you get into this, there's a few other chords in here that you will want to learn, and right now you'll be like, there's no way I can learn it, and you'll be able to learn it. And then eventually you'll start to learn that you can play the same chords up here, and right now you might be like, there's no way I could ever do that, but the longer you play, the more you'll do it. And then you'll start hearing people finger pick, and you're like, there's no way I'll ever do that. But guess what happens after you practice it? You can do it. And then you'll see people who are soloing and playing the ukulele and just ripping, shredding the fretboard, and you're like, there's no way I could ever do that. That's what I'm saying right now. But with some practice, hopefully I'll get there. It's a really joyful instrument. There is a club in Charlotte that I have found. I just saw them on Facebook. I've never been to it before, but they gather, they play. It's like this. They gather, someone leads them in songs, and they sing along and play. So if this is something that you like, I want to encourage you to do that. But I wanted to share with you just some different options that you might have I'm going to start with smallest. So she was talking about sopranos.
Oh, wow.
This is a soprano.
Oh,
They're fun. They're great strummers, and they're very portable, and they're just fun, sweet instruments. And so that's.
They're fun. They are really hard if you have bigger fingers, though, because the fretboard gets really tiny. They do get really tiny.
And then here's a concert, so that's the second size. So is that what what they all have? So y'all have a concert, and the difference between a concert and a soprano and then a tenor are the body sizes, but also the number of frets. So the fretboard's a little bit longer here, which means you can go a little bit up the neck. And then this is a tenor, so and that's the size that a lot of the professional players will play. Again, it's just kind of that sweet spot. And so 2 ways you can string a tenor is high G. And then another way you can string it is with a low G. And the reason I chose this one, and there's no tuning that's better than the other. Certain songs sound better with a low G. Certain songs sound better with a high G. And then I picked this one, here, I'll switch really quickly, to highlight all the different options that you have with different wood types. So you can have a different top or a different back. So this is a cedar top with a sycamore back. When I was searching the webs for someone who makes ukuleles, I found this site called Jupiter Ukulele. I'm like, man, I like this guy's ukuleles. And then I realized he lived 5 minutes away from me when I lived in Florida. So I bothered him for a year until he made me one of these. And then, oh yeah, and then you can have a sound port, which is just like a little monitor, shoots the air up so you can hear it a little bit better.
So this one, like when we play this one, it tends to feel a little bit louder when you're playing it because the sound's coming out right in your face as well as out of the front.
Okay, so this is a baritone.
So this one was the cedar and the sycamore, and this is what we call a koa. This is traditional Hawaiian koa wood. So this gives you a very sweet kind of ukulele, traditional Hawaiian kind of sound.
Yeah, so different wood types will sound differently. So this will sound a little bit deeper, a little bit more rich. This is going to be a little bit punchier. So for those who play guitar, who here plays guitar, by the way, or has? Y'all know that different woods have different sounds, right? So if you go spruce, it'll be a little bit more crisp, just like a guitar. This is a baritone, so for those who do play guitar, this might be familiar because the way that it's tuned is that the top 4 strings are the same. And so it's like if you capoed a guitar on the 5th fret, that's what this would sound like. So D, D, G, B, E. So it kind of has a sweeter sound. And Bethany's right, the chords are different. The fingering is actually the same. So what chord would I be playing here if I just played this chord? A C. So on a tenor or a soprano or a concert, it would be a C. But on this, it's a G. If I played this, what would it be on your ukuleles? An F. See, Bethany, you have done a great job teaching them. Those are pop quizzes. They're acing it. This would be a C on a baritone. So imagine if you were playing, those who know how to play the guitar, just think it's those top 2 strings that you don't have to worry about here. But just a little different sound.
What are you playing?
I was playing F to G. Yeah. So I guess this would be C to G. C to G. So that's, I just wanted to show you guys the options.
Take it away.
You want to hear me play a couple songs?
Do you want to play the tenor?
I heard you say this morning you were going to play, so don't disappoint.
No, I heard you say this morning that I was going to play. That's what I heard.
This morning I offered you a cup of lemonade. That's all I said.
I got to learn those southern ways. Yeah. Let's start with this one. You can play songs without finger picking, and so I'm going to play a song that one of you wanted to learn how to play, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, right? Israel, come on. Yeah, he made this song popular, but you can really do it just by strumming. You can do it finger picking, but you can also do it just like this. So that was all the way up the neck, but in reality, I was playing all of the chords that y'all know. I just know how to play them up here a little bit. There was one chord that you haven't learned yet, E7. That's the only one that I played that you guys...
Well, and the strumming.
And the strumming. But that was really just, that was the island strum, and just learning how to switch your hand. And you could all hear both the melody and the harmony, right?
Yes.
Let's see. And then, I don't know yet. So what I like about high G's is kind of has that top high string. So if you play like a banjo, it kind of has that droning sound. That's just how you can finger pick. Again, those were all chords that you know. You know all those chords. What chords did I play? C, F.
I was just watching your hands.
All it was C and F and G7. And you find different ways to play it, and it makes you sound a lot better than what you really are. And sometimes it just sounds better on a lower one. Let me start that one over. That's what a baritone can sound like. For all my mistakes, blame the Henderlight men. They fed me barbecue. That's all I got for tonight, unless you get a tip jar out here. I'm just kidding. Put those in the offering plate next Sunday. If y'all do have questions about the ukulele, I love it. It's, like I said, it's a joyful instrument. We have enough to start a ukulele community right here. If we put this on Facebook and they had 40 people showing up to play, we'd be the biggest ukulele group in Charlotte. We really would. And so I just want to encourage you guys, you could just stay at the skill level that you're at, and it's great. And if you want to get a little bit more advanced, there's a lot to do. It takes a minute to learn, a lifetime to master. It's beautiful. I love it. And yeah, just come talk to me if you ever have questions about it. That's all I got.
Thank you. Well, again, let this just be an example. This small, very small instrument be an example of God's hand on this church. And I mean that. This idea came out of nowhere. And I've not heard I've not seen these ukuleles or heard him play like that. I didn't want to because I knew it would make me nervous teaching. So. But what are the odds? No, he doesn't have. They don't have one ukulele they play. They have. It's just incredible to me. It's just incredible to me. But I want to tell you, it's not that he speaks to me often or ever, the Holy Spirit. But I did, and I do try to make a practice of opening my heart and listening to what I'm supposed to be doing. And sometimes it doesn't make sense, and this did not make sense at all. And I just felt like I needed to call Lauren that day. That's all. I don't know. But that said, I have to tell you that we have to have a talk about the call, right? So, and how I believe God's hand is on this church. I hope you were there the Sunday that I gave my testimony to my story, and well, no one told me Dan was going to be here that day and his family, so I was a little nervous. But I want to tell you just a little snippet more of my testimony, which, is your story. Well, so I was teaching my first year of teaching. And I did okay, I guess, in that community. And so in my second year, I got a call from the local youth theater company. And they wanted me to come direct their Christmas play, or whatever, their youth Christmas play. Well, I'd never done theater, I'd not been a director, but they really wanted it to be more like a musical, like Christmas Carol speaking. So I said, okay, I did it. And I'll never forget, I was sitting in rehearsal, and the kids were rehearsing, and the parents were great. They were so involved and like just bebopping around everywhere. And I was sitting, it was hot in the room. And I remember sitting in the auditorium kind of like this with my hand propped up, and I'm like watching, I'm by myself, and one of the dads comes up behind me. And I'm sitting like this, and he's talking to me, and so I turn like this, and he's like this really energetic guy, just a... get out of my face, but he was great. But when I grew up, when I hit puberty, when I hit puberty, I suffered, and I do say suffer, with hyperhidrosis. And if you don't know what that is, it is excessive sweating. And I did not tell anyone. I didn't even tell my parents. And so I'm talking to him like this, and I have a gray shirt on. And he looks down and he goes, hey, by the way, I can help you with that. And I was like, what a weirdo. What a weirdo. I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, and it was a problem, like growing up. It was awful. I was a basketball player, and it was just one of my most embarrassing things, and I just couldn't get rid of it. He said, I can help you with that. I was like, oh, okay. And he just ran off. I'm like, what a weirdo. But anyways, as it turns out, I became very, very close with him and his wife. He was a dermatologist in town. And the next day, he brought me a prescription for Certain Dry. P.S. You should get this if you have a problem with hyperhidrosis. I've never had a problem with it since. But him and his wife were really, really strong Christians, and just took me in as a 22-year-old and whatever. And we talked a lot about God and our faith. And one day he said, Bethany, I want you to meet my friend Jane. She's really cool. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, meet Jane, whatever. And so he kept saying it over and over, and I just didn't have time, you just don't have time. And he came up to me at one of the rehearsals and finally said, listen, I want you to meet my friend Jane, and I've paid for you to go visit her. And I said, oh, what? He said, yeah, she's over here in Greensboro. I want you to just go talk to her. I've already paid for you to go visit her 3 times. And I'm like, because he'd been so kind. I'm like, okay, so I go to this lady's house. Her name is Jane. It was at her house. She's a Christian counselor, psychologist. And not to diminish that, but I want you to understand where my brain was. I'm like, oh, dear God, I got to go to this counselor. So I go. She's like, hi, Beth, it's so nice. She's like, well, come in, how you think it's going to. There's a couch and a chair. She sits in her chair. And I have a seat on the couch. I'm like, really? Is this real? Like, real? Oh my God. And she goes, so tell me why you're here. I'm like, I don't know. Like, Todd just wanted me to meet you. And she said, well, tell me about yourself. And those people are very trained at getting you to just
feel it.
Spit it out, right? And I know now that Todd and Denise, and you know, we all grew up, most of us grew up in the faith, but sometimes what we were taught when we were little is not right or good, or, you know, so he wanted me to work out those things with her. But at the end of the session, she said, okay, I want you to do something with me. And I said, okay. She said, I want you to close your eyes. And I went, because you know that's what. So, I want you to close your eyes. I was like, she said, no, really close your eyes. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, I can't believe I'm doing it. And I'm nervous telling you this story. I've only ever told it to one group of people before, and they were youth. But she said, I want you to picture yourself outside. And I'm like, okay. She said, are you there? And I'm like, are you serious? She said, close your eyes. And I said, okay. She said, are you there? And I was like, yes, here I am, outside. She said, now I want you to picture yourself on top of a mountain. Are you there? And I'm like, yes, I'm here I am on a mountain. She's like, I want you to picture it's a nice day, there's a cool breeze. You know, are you picturing it too? Mm-hmm. I didn't ask you to close your eyes. And she said, what's it feel like? You know, and I'm like, oh, it feels great, this is nice. And it's a beautiful day, and she made me describe what it looks like. And she said, now I want you to imagine there's a cross there. And I was like, okay. She said, do you see it? And I'm like, yeah. She said, where are you? And I said, I'm outside. She said, no, where are you? Where's the cross? And I said, it's like right here. It's right here. She said, right in front of you? And I said, yeah. She's like, what color is it? And, okay, and still got my eyes closed. And she said, now, Bethany, I want you to picture Jesus on that cross. Mm. And I started weeping. And she said, where are you? And I said, I'm over there. I was no longer right there. I was over there. She said, where are you? I said, I'm in the woods. There's woods right there. And she said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm behind a tree. I mean, I was like, oh God, this lady. And I'm just bawling. And she said, why are you over there? And I said, I don't know. She said, now what do you see over there? I said, there are people there. There's a lot of people. And she said, well, why are you over there? I said, I don't know. And she said, and that's why you need to come back next week. And so I said, yes, ma'am, what time? Like, so then, you know, then I understood why Todd and Denise, you know, and Jane was awesome. She was great. We got to work through some of those things, you know. But I'm telling you that story because I feel like music gets me to the foot of the cross. That's what music does for me, and I know it does it for other people. But I think some people who aren't musicians or trained don't allow themselves that freedom to really express and feel like they're a musician or are allowed to use music, if you will, to pull them closer. But that is me. That is how I feel closest to God in music. And I just can't help but feel like there is someone, probably more than one, maybe 2 or 3 people. I don't know why you're here. That's really not for me to figure out. That's for you to figure out. But I need for you to know that there is a music ministry program that would love to have you here. And no, we don't have a ukulele ensemble yet. But there is a sanctuary choir with members with open arms that if you think this was fun, this is exactly how choirs. Tell them, those of you in choir, maybe, I mean.
That's true.
Very true.
Except Charlie interrupts way more in choir.
Designate which one.
We kind of know which one.
And so I just want to encourage you to, I've been praying for you. And the first week, when we sang Row, Row, Row Your Boat, I and everybody just started singing. It was like I had been gut punched. because I just knew. Can you imagine if this plus our sanctuary choir that's not here, if that was our sanctuary choir? And some of you think, oh no, not me, you didn't hear me. I don't, you're in this room, aren't you? And I think God put you here for a reason. And I'm going to tell you what, I appreciate your gratitude, but I've never, not never, but in a while, the Holy Spirit has not come over me like this ukulele workshop in a long time. And here you are. And I'm nervous and I'm shaking because I was raised Baptist, and a little part of the reason why I ended up in that room is because guilt and shame, and I don't want to guilt or shame anyone. That's what I don't, that is my default, and I'm also a teacher, so we definitely guilt and shame all the time. But what I've been praying for you, that God would soften your heart. Maybe not everyone, and maybe not everyone, but there's got to be people in this room that thought about it. And I know it's a commitment. It is a commitment. It's Wednesdays and Sundays. However, I'm working really hard to make it actually a little more doable than it has been in the past. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, well, why aren't you pushing the handbells? Well, because to be a handbell ringer, you really do have to read music. I'm not saying they're better musicians than the choir. That's not true. It's just that in handbells, every single one of the musicians that are ringing are reading. Every single one of the musicians in our choir are not reading. And I say that with love and affection. And some of them just come and hang on for dear life, but we have a whole lot of fun. I'd like to think we do. And I would love for you to consider joining us in that ministry. And I would be remiss, but I have to think that God, for lots of reasons already, that this has just allowed me to get a foot in the door in this room. And I'm sorry that you're in this room, because this would be easy. I'm going to give another minute for music ministry, of course, or hour for music ministry soon. But I need to tell you, because you're the ones in this room and you've been coming, there's something in you that loves music. There's something in you that wants to learn. And my mama always told me, if Satan can't make you bad, he'll make you busy. So, thank God some of those Bible characters didn't say, well, I don't have time for that, or I don't have time for that. I know you don't have time. Nobody has time. We make time, right? But I promise you a good time. And if you don't like it, nothing personal. Nothing personal. So I just wanted to pitch that. Did I miss anything? If you're in the choir, anybody want to?
Please come.
Come join us. We do have fun.
I'm not saying anything else.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Good idea.
Bethany, what can people do if they're feeling God's call right now to sing a joyful noise with you? What can they do to join?
Yep. Well, I already have all your emails anyways. So, I'm going to do another one. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start in August. We're going to have just an initial 2-hour, I say rehearsal, but that's when we do binders and, do a robe fitting. You're like, oh gosh, no, that's too serious. No, please come on, just join us. You say, well, I have a house at the beach. Great, go to your beach house, just not every Sunday, well, I have grandkids, so does probably half our choir, And I just love for you to think about joining. I just can't think that the Holy Spirit didn't lead us to this, to not look at you and say, please consider joining our choir. Give me a semester, yeah.
All right, so I make noise.
Yeah.
Can you work with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure can. Sure can. 100%.
From a first soprano to a second alto. So you can do it.
Yeah.
Well, I can't sing, but she can
Yes,
work
you
with
can.
that. No, my daughter told me I can't sing.
But that's my job.
Well.
No one ever walked into a math class thinking, I'm the best at math, right?
Oh, I never did.
Maybe
Or those of you that have children, did you not put your kids in soccer or dance or whatever? Were they good at it before you sent them? No. You trusted the coaches to, pour into them, and if you're like my mother, you put me in dance, and then a year later pulled me right out and put me in basketball. Yeah, so that's okay. That's okay. So.
Just for those who have family commitments, Bethany, have you ever heard from any choir members who brought their kids or grandkids to church and it's been a good experience?
Yeah.
Not that I'm leading you or anything.
I think so. And we can arrange to have childcare for sure too. So I'm just throwing that out there. Again, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. So I'd love to talk to you more about it, the commitment, or what we're going to do. I'll send out you will get it because now I have your email. Our schedule, what it looks like from now until December for sure. Possibly if I can get as far as to May or June, like the rough schedule, I can send that out in the next week or two. I think we have a planning meeting this week, so I want to get it, make sure I don't send you anything wrong. But listen, this church and just I think we're in a unique position. We've got so much momentum. I can't promise ukuleles every week, but yeah. Okay. If you have any questions, ask me. So, about these ukuleles. So here's how we're going to return them.
You want to get your picture first?
Yes. We're going to do this, but yes, thank you for reminding me. What we're going to do is, so the ukulele, may I just borrow yours? The bag and then the strings go under the logo. So that's how we're going to put it in. And then the bag goes in the box and then the tuner goes in last. And what we're going to do is, don't get up now, but in just a second, when you put it in the box, if you would just put it over on these tables over here. And then I'll just check everything with you don't have to, you really don't have to do anything except return it. That would be awesome. And then I'll check it. If it didn't have a bag, it was from the band. But you can put it back in the box. That'll be fine. And then I'll be checking these, and that's fine. But if it had a tuner in it, please return that and any extra strings. But remember, the pick is yours and the binder is yours. And then, yep, you keep that. And so to close, I do want us to kind of squish in and take a picture, if that would be okay.
Ukulele now?
Yeah, I think it would be a good, don't you just hold the ukulele and we're going to take a picture, and then what I'd like to do is send a little survey later via email, just get a little bit of feedback about this workshop, if we're going to do it again, the length, the time, these kinds of things, and then I already have my sincere request. And then at the end, just a thank you, especially to Celeste for putting all of our workshops online. Yeah. They're up.
They're not going to go anywhere.
Great. Okay. You can return to them. But also thank you to Roger and Adult Ministries, because I really cornered him and said, I got this idea. David and Worship and Music, who also backed me on this idea. And then I did want to mention Rodney Owens. Rodney and I drove to Stuart Kramer with the Boy Scout trailer. Before it got stolen. No, we didn't steal it. We asked for permission. We went and got all the stuff, all the stands, and I will need a little bit of help with the stands as well. But so we got it all. We got it. He put it back there, and then the next morning it was gone. But not for anything he did. It was just so happened. So I went to school the next day, and my theater teacher is a friend of mine. He said, did you get your Boy Scout trailer back? And I was like, thinking he saw me the day before. I was like, yeah, we put it back. And he's like, no, it was stolen. I went, what? He said, it's all over Facebook. I was like, oh my gosh. But many thanks to Rodney, because he's helping me also get them back. And then I just put Stuart Kramer High School, because if it weren't for my colleague, we'd only have 25 of these today. But Cameron let us borrow these, and it's just been a great time. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I do have Twisted Sugar cookies in the back. If you've never been to Twisted Sugar in Belmont, you're welcome. They're amazing cookies, and help yourself to one. If you can eat a whole one, they're pretty big. But why don't let's have someone close us in prayer, and then we'll do our picture, then we'll pack up, and then we'll eat and fellowship. I'm 5 minutes over. Would anyone close us in prayer? Go ahead. Thanks, Roger.
Dear Lord, we thank you for the beauty of this day. We thank you for the beauty of the music Bethany and Dan and Rachel have shared with us. May we make music to you, O Lord. May we give thanks for our lives. May we give thanks for our families and thanks for this church. We thank you for all the things that you have done for us. And help us to give thanks to you through our music. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Okay.